They vanished, but the official story doesn't add up. Every year, thousands of people simply disappear, swallowed by forests, highways, oceans, or thin air itself. And while authorities often offer neat explanations, a darker current runs beneath the surface. A current of theories, whispers, and evidence that suggests something far more sinister is at work. Take the infamous missing 411 cases, for instance. David Paulides, a former police officer, documented hundreds of strange disappearances from national parks across North America, noticing eerie patterns. Victims found miles from where they vanished, often in areas previously searched, shoes missing but feet uninjured, bodies placed neatly as if arranged, sometimes found uphill in rugged terrain where even the fittest hikers would struggle. Official agencies like the National Park Service appeared suspiciously reluctant to share data, leading some to theorize that there were things or entities in the wilds that the government was desperate to hide. Some say it's covert military operations gone wrong, secret underground facilities testing on unwilling victims, or something even less human. Cryptids, interdimensional rips, ancient beings that prey on isolated souls. And then there's the chilling story of the Sodder children. On Christmas Eve 1945, a fire consumed the Sodder family home in West Virginia. But though 5 children were said to have perished, no remains were ever found. Later sightings suggested they might have been abducted, perhaps because of their father's outspoken political views against Mussolini, raising theories about mafia involvement, government abductions, or even child trafficking rings protected by powerful people. Fast forward to the strange case of Brandon Swanson, a college student who crashed his car one night in Minnesota in 2008, called his parents for help, seemed confused about his exact location despite the terrain being flat and familiar, and then, mid-conversation, exclaimed, "Oh shit," before vanishing forever. His phone remained active, pinging nearby towers for days. Yet no trace of him was ever found. Some theorize he stumbled upon something he shouldn't have, maybe a clandestine facility or illicit operation hidden in the rural fields. The Yuba County Five story is equally unsettling. In 1978, 5 mentally disabled young men vanished after a basketball game in California. Months later, their remains were found in bizarre conditions. One had starved to death despite access to food. Another was missing entirely, their car abandoned on a remote mountain road they had no reason to be on. Whispers suggested they witnessed something they weren't supposed to, perhaps a drug operation or a covert military experiment, and were silenced. Then there's the case of Maura Murray, a nursing student who crashed her car on a New Hampshire road in 2004 and vanished within minutes, despite witnesses seeing the accident. No footprints led away, no clear sign of abduction, and years later, cryptic online postings, supposed sightings, and even odd familial behaviors have fueled rumors of secret societies, police involvement, or hidden human trafficking networks exploiting isolated victims. D.B. Cooper's legend, the man who hijacked a plane, ransomed $200,000, parachuted into a stormy night, and was never found, has conspiratorial undertones as well. Some theorize he was a government operative testing airline security protocols during the Cold War, and that his disappearance was actually a successful extraction. The list stretches endlessly. Dozens of children vanished from the same stretch of highway in Montana over decades. Appalachian hikers missing with only strange symbols carved into trees nearby. Entire groups of travelers in Siberia found dead under impossible conditions, their bodies mutilated, internal injuries inconsistent with hypothermia. The infamous Dyatlov Pass incident, later tied by some to secret weapons tests or extraterrestrial contact. Even in modern times, the internet has birthed new layers of terror. Cases like that of Kenny Veach, a YouTuber who explored Nevada caves and claimed to find one that vibrated strangely. He disappeared after setting out to locate it again, sparking theories of underground bases, alien portals, or simply government forces silencing those who wander too close. Across all these cases, themes repeat. The authorities often act evasive. Vital information is suppressed. Search efforts are delayed or botched. And official narratives demand that we accept rational explanations while our instincts scream that something else is at play. Some believe secret human experiments, black sites operating in wilderness areas, or rogue AI drones capable of targeting and eliminating individuals explain the gaps. Others whisper about older terrors, ancient entities tied to the land long before we built our roads and cities, entities that still demand sacrifices. Even the idea of interdimensional portals, popular in fringe science, has gained traction among believers, especially in light of documented magnetic anomalies in national parks and the stories of people who vanish in seconds while companions are distracted by a flash of light or a strange hum. Yet for every plausible theory, for every neatly tied-up conspiracy, there are cases that simply defy all comprehension. The child who disappears and is found miles away with no memory of the missing time. The seasoned hiker who texts updates from the trail, then vanishes mid-step. The surveillance footage that glitches precisely when the victim is last seen. Skeptics dismiss it all as coincidence, human error, natural dangers. But when the numbers stack up, when official channels seem complicit in the cover-ups, when witnesses are ignored or intimidated, coincidence starts to seem less likely. Even looking at historical disappearances, like the lost colony of Roanoke, the mass vanishing of entire village. In the Arctic, the eerily silent ships found adrift without crews. Patterns emerge that suggest humanity has always been haunted by forces just beyond our understanding. Technology hasn't saved us, either. If anything, it has made disappearances even more chilling. GPS trackers that suddenly malfunction, phones that send out bizarre last texts, they're not human. Online forums where people claim to be hunted or followed after finding wrong information. It seems the more we seek answers, the deeper the mystery grows. Some point to shadow governments orchestrating abductions to feed hidden agendas, experiments in mind control, or even harvesting genetic material. Others think Earth is simply shared with intelligences that choose their victims carefully, operating under laws we cannot fathom. And maybe the most terrifying part of all isn't the theories or the conspiracies or even the possibility that some supernatural predator lurks among us. Maybe it's the undeniable fact that every single day, somewhere in the world, someone steps outside, someone blinks at the wrong moment, someone hears a strange sound in the trees or feels a sudden vibration underfoot. And then they are gone, leaving behind only silence, confusion, and a growing certainty that the official story doesn't just fail to explain their fate. It was never meant to.